Good to see you, Hunter, and welcome back to the Whitehart Island. Yesterday we hunted whitetails at the South Cliff Lodge, and today we do quite the opposite. We hunt blacktails at the Causeway Lodge. What you see behind me here, this is the Causeway Lodge in the north of Whitehart Island, and this is a great place if you're looking for blacktails, and I want to take you on a hunt for them. We might see some elk as well, and some coyotes or turkeys, but mostly there should be blacktails. Today I'm taking the 3006 bolt action rifle. It's a classic rifle with a 5-shot magazine. You can see it looks quite used. It's a great rifle. It's got an old classic scope as well. You cannot zoom it, but it works great. It's quite well performing. Certainly a great rifle for blacktails. Also, I want to bring again a silent weapon. This will be the weapon of choice mostly when going for the blacktails. It's a Parker Python. You might have seen that in other videos from me. Up here we have, like I said, the blacktails. We have some Roosevelt elk, some coyotes. It's almost like a mirror to the south, where you also have some elk and coyotes, but mostly the deer. And in the south, the whitetails. Up here, the blacktails. You will never see whitetails up here spawning, and it might take a very long session until you find a whitetail that got lost up here. And the very same is true actually for the south. You will not likely ever find a blacktail there. Maybe a quick look at the map. I've got a tent over in the west. Sometimes I start there, otherwise I have no equipment up here. You can see some towers that we might utilize. This is by far the biggest density in towers that you will find in the game. This was the first island, this was the first place where you could hunt mule deer back in the day, 7 or 8 years ago. A lot of towers were placed back then. In the newer maps you find very few, sometimes even no towers at all. So if you're a stand hunter, this is a good place. A bit more difficult it is for tree stands and ground blinds. It's a bit hilly here. You've got the flatter part down here towards the ocean, but then it goes up in the hills. But it does have its large open patches. Of course there are places where you can put your stands. But usually the hilly places you can hunt just nicely, just fine without the stands. There's plenty of hiding places. Also, this place is rather dense as far as the trees, so you can sneak around through the trees. The deer won't see you from very far. I guess the biggest difference from the blacktails to the whitetails as far as the gameplay is, they will roam around in herds. You might come across single blacktails every now and then, but in most cases when you hear one, you can know there's many, or you can assume there will be many of them. So the challenge for getting a blacktail buck can be to get through the does that will be around. There's the first buck, thank you very much. He is down on the road just beyond the first tower there. And I'm not sure if I want to call him up here, because as you can see this is very dense. And hunting them here, what if they send ahead the females and stay in the back? This can happen. So maybe we can spot it and get this hunt session going. I've got a competition activated where I need to shoot them from below 25 meters, which is rather close. I would say this tree over here, it's even closer. So let's say this tree here, somewhere in between here, I would have to shoot it. So that is rather close for high scoring bucks. And you want to make sure you're really hiding. If you want to bow shoot them, you need to get up in the end, shoot them quickly. If they look your way, they might see you and run. So that's the challenge for this competition, but it can be done. My cloves, by the way, are Boone and Crockett again. You can see here with the little app They don't show as camo app because they are not location specific, they are deer specific. And that will never show on the Hunter Mate. And I've been talking and talking and should rather pay attention here. The deer is not very far. If he's moving my way, then he might see me soon. So what I'm going to try is making it to that tower. Oh, he's calling again. Either him or another. No, it's him. So now I should see him actually. There he is. 1.5 to 130 is the score estimation. So that's a rather small one. And he's alone, it appears. You do have those bucks that will be alone. You do have some that are where there's two of them. But most of the times they are in groups. So I called and he will likely stand there for a few seconds before he decides to move over here. So maybe this is the first chance to get our classic rifle going here. There he stands, but he's behind trees. Same, of course, here as with the whitetails. Once you start calling, you will be in a magnet. So any rifle shots will spook everything, of course. So he's got a dark background right now, which makes him hard to see. And you can see, I'm not sure what my shooting level is with this gun, but lying flat on the ground makes it rather stable. What I do often is I don't follow the animal. I place the gun and wait for the animal to walk into the scope, into the center of the scope. There's our first buck. The estimation was 1.5 to 130 and it's in between there. So this is nothing special. And we'll move on. So this was the first tower already. Now we missed using it, but they're all the same model. So the maker of this tree, and not tree stand, the maker of these towers made a good deal a few years ago, selling them some 15 or 20 towers on this entire island. Some of this area is really dense. There's some rocks, there's some shrubs, and it's not easy to move around here. It's not easy to lay ambush if you have deer coming in. Somewhat similar to Settler Creeks, which is also dense and a bit more difficult to move around. Running around here doesn't make much sense because the island is rather narrow. So once you have them all nervous, you will push them down south, which of course will make it more difficult. Then there will be other animals around. Walking is great for the most part. There's people that say, well, they crouch all the time, and I'm sure they will see a lot animals as well, but they don't cover as much distance. And the mechanism of the game is, as soon as there will be an animal within the hunter-made map, it'll call. We haven't had a call in a few minutes, and the game's practically waiting for an animal to be in that range so it can call. So we can what I want to say is we can walk around as soon as an animal will come within the rendering distance or a group of them, they should call. So it's not like you walk around and all of a sudden you realize, oh, they're right here next to you. This only happens if another animal called and you keep walking. But if there's no calls for a few minutes, then you can be sure they will call as soon as they come closer. By the way, I've had questions in the chat in my videos. Feel free to put any questions, be it to Blacktails, to Whitehart, to anything. If I know the answer, I am happy to answer those questions or to direct you to the correct link in the forum or the wiki or whatever is available. And of course, also any comments are appreciated. Now we're getting to a crossing. The road that's going south goes up through a creek or through a pass. And you don't want to go there because then you cannot get up the walls left and right. So we'll just stay going west. There's this pass that you go through. And I can remember actually trying long distance shooting from this hill. It actually used to be the highest height difference. It used to be useful for long distance shooting until Red Feather Falls came along, and then you can shoot blacktails from further away because there's higher hills there. And now I can only laugh at this little hill here, looking at what we have in Val de Bois, what we have in White Ram Ridge. But those were the days. There's a next buck calling, oh, straight ahead of us. And you can see, actually, let me show you. If you draw a circle throughout the center, or starting in the center, and going to the edges, that circle from the blacktail would probably be on that circle that we drew. It's not right at the edge of the hunter mate, but that is because you have to imagine a circle where we are 220 meters away, a circle around us. That's the rendering range. And this buck just entered that range. And there he is with a good looking set of antlers. And is he again alone? That's well possible. I didn't see any others. Well, it's the good thing. I don't mind being wrong when I say mostly they're in herds and then we find two loners. That is the beauty. That's part of the beauty of the game. Even though I've been playing this for over 5 years, you can still not predict everything correctly. I can predict there's whitetails here, blacktails, sorry about that. I can certainly predict them to be here, but in which configuration they will appear, or will we even run into elk first, we cannot tell. We can just assume based on the experience, but the game will always still surprise you, even after many years. So I've called it, and it's been eager walking into that forest there, but soon enough it'll come back. So now you can see the circle is a lot closer now. And the circle on the hunter mate, by the way, is very accurate at tracking level 20, which I have for this animal. If you start this game, you look at the circle on the hunter mate and you see the animal and you go like, this is not accurate at all, then you're absolutely right with that, because this circle only starts to be very accurate at maybe tracking level somewhere between 5 and 7, I don't know exactly. And this buck has an interesting antlers. It looked like they're non-typical, but I think he just has a major drop tine on the right antler. Looks unnatural a little bit. So, should we do another gunshot? I don't want to spook everything around here. And for the bow, I would have to wait or move closer. Yeah, if I shoot it, I'm almost on the western end or far out already. No, I don't want to use the gun on this one. You can see the silhouette of the animal even if it's behind the hill. Now it's totally gone. But once we have some parts raising over the hill, then you'll see the entire silhouette. And this can be tricky. In the woods, when you see the silhouette behind shrubs, you can shoot at it. You can kill the deer through the shrubs. But I've had actually cases where I shot and realized actually the animal was behind the hill or a rock or something, an object, a solid object. Still saw the silhouette, fired at it, and of course couldn't kill it. The Parker python is silent, but not as strong as the snake bite, so I could probably hit the deer from here. What is that hill, 60 meters? Not even half, maybe half of it. So I'm overestimating the distance. So at 40 meters, I could hit it with the bow sight, which I have, but it will not do a lot of damage. So I'll try like more like 20 meters. I go meet him halfway. There he comes. Some have asked, why do you bring the binos and the rangefinder? That's a waste of space. If I don't waste any space, then I'm so used to using them both. The rangefinder I use many times for the distance, but it's only got this 7 times magnification. So I've been using the binos all along. And of course there's a spotting scope now, which is also great, but I'm waiting for an update on that to go to 16 times. So 30 meters should be good for the Parker. He might actually see me. And from here the Parker will drop it. If I did a 40-50 meter shot, I might have to do some tracking. So what's up with these antlers? It's just very non-symmetric, but otherwise 143, we're still nowhere in the range of a top buck. The current leader in the competition has a 195, so that is a top animal, great animal, congratulations to that. For some reason there's quite a gap in the top bucks. They are 190 and above, 190, between 190 and 195. Then there's barely ever a score in between 170 and 190. I don't know why this is. So the third place is 168, which is also a good buck. It's also not easy to find. It doesn't mean because it's a lot lower it's easier to find. It's still not easy. So again, the competition is below 25 meters, and That's what I have apparently done here. The buck counted for the comp. Whoa! I just... Whoa, now we have some stuff going on here. There's one buck. Oh, he came to my call. And he didn't realize me. That thanks to the Parker also. But why I actually stopped was I had spotting information. Because here's a blacktail deer lying around. I wanted to go for that track here. I'm not going to shoot at a sleeping animal. I don't have any moral issues, but it's very hard to hit the vitals. It'll, unless I hit the head or something really good, it'll run, and I don't want to do that now, especially since buck number 3 is on the horizon. They're very busy callers. They've been calling quite a lot. So they're of course very easy to locate. Here's our buck, and again, looks like a normal, very normal buck. What I want to do now is, actually I don't need to lay flat from here. What I want to do now is, I want to harvest this buck and then come back here and see if there's actually a herd sleeping, or at least some tracks, some other tracks around apart from that doe that we've seen. Maybe we can pick up the track of a buck. I do have a little bit the habit of following larger, heavier bucks just because the chance is higher, but you can still find a good scoring buck even if it's not a top weight. Heaviest blacktail is 95 kilograms for the bucks and 59 for the does. That's the same figure with the does as for the whitetails. The whitetail buck is 100, the blacktail buck is only 95. So of course your tracking level that up. You actually can level up blacktails a lot faster than whitetails because you will follow herds. You can go click, 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 click almost continuously when you follow a herd and you track them up. You level them up very quickly. My call is doing has some effect here. There's now a doe coming and I must be quick now, and that's what's happening. Okay, so maybe in this case the gun would have been an option, but that's what happens. Once you call, you become a magnet. Remember that. I did see the sleeping doe, which is probably not sleeping now, but I didn't see this doe here, and she ended up spooking my buck. This buck I don't go after. It's just a small one. A larger buck I would follow, of course. And it's very normal for me to spook animals. I don't think I have a video where I don't spook animals. But that's just... Oh, she's still sleeping. That's just the way you play the game. You can see she's crumbled there. Very hard to hit anything vital. Or you can't really aim at the vitals, so to speak. I mean, if I pull out the rifle now, then she'll be dead, but my goal here is to read the tracks, and actually I'm going to spook her away from towards where we came from. Let's see how close we can go. Oh, now it's over anyway, but there's the next herd, hopefully. So let's just finish this story here. I was about, yeah, you can see 7 meters until she realized me, and now we have a new target. So it doesn't look like any bucks so far. This is the doe that slept there. What about this one? Elk. An elk cow 1 hour ago. I'm going to call, not even sure if there's any good places here to wait for them. We appear to be on a road, but it's not a road, it's just a small path that goes up here. So this is not easy, this area to wait for animals. I'm gonna break a leg here. So I'll just call and I will look for a hiding place on the fly. You can see this really remembers of Settler Creeks, a lot of rocks and shrubs and trees and very little, very short view here sometimes. And the calling though doesn't keep us from looking at other tracks. You see I set the red dot, it's really helpful. Especially when you move around, the area starts to look different, the map starts to look different on the Hunter Mate. And you can look at stuff, follow the tracks, and you will still know where your animal is. Sometimes I set it, sometimes I don't. And the hope, of course, is to find that or to have a herd. It's really funny. Actually, that buck was the third buck without a herd. The sleeping doe, by the way, that was it appeared to be alone. What they do is they will sleep for a short while. Maybe some of them in the group will sleep, and then they will get up and catch up again with the group, if they were part of a group. But today is the day of the singles, because this one here again is alone, at least so far. I see no others so far, so this might be from the former group. I don't think it's the one that spooked the buck. I don't think it has cooled down so quickly. So you can see the blacktails are about, and your calls have an effect. And now I don't know where this one is. But then we're not after females after all. I mentioned the competition, female competition for whitetails that used to be there yesterday in the video. There also used to be a female competition for blacktails. Jane Doe was the name, and you had to find 4 or 5 females and shoot them with the 270. I believe it was 5 females. It was a fun competition because you had to do a lot of spotting, and if you have groups of blacktails with 5 does, spot all of them, maybe shoot one of them, continue to look for groups. It was a lot of blacktail hunting. We haven't heard anyone run. In fact, I hear one walk. Such is the Parker. If you like bow hunting, if you haven't found a bow yet, I recommend the Parker over the snakebite because it's so freaking silent. It's a lot better than the snakebite. It's a bit less strong, but what the heck, I mean, you can drop these does left and right, no one knows anything. They keep coming. Oh, by the way, there's 2 ways to shoot a bow. Not sure if you've heard about that, but maybe I should show you next time. You can draw the bow with the right key, and now you can shortly click the left mouse key to shoot the arrow. Or you can click and hold, and then you will not release the arrow until you release the mouse key. There's 2 different options. I used to click quickly, and I missed actually a lot more. So I switched my method to holding the mouse key, and releasing the mouse key is less shaky on your mouse than clicking it. So maybe I should show you in practice what that looks like. We had 2 decent bucks yesterday with the whitetails, 160 and 166. I call them decent. They're not great bucks, but I don't find them too often, and I had 2 in the same hunt. So of course I would at least have one buck here for the blacktails as well. That goes up in the 165 or so. 160s, 165. So one doe is still around. I want to show you that bow. Oh, she is. And there's another. Oh, not again sleeping. Can we wake her up? Yes, but not smoothly to make her come here. You cannot call her up. You can spook her, you can shoot her. But there's another one calling from further away. Nice. Maybe a buck ahead. So now I'm hunting the blacktails in an area I don't like at all. You can see this area here. We have now this path which opens up things a little bit, but it's not easy to hunt them here. Maybe we should shoot this sleeping doe. Oh, it's a buck. And I'm an idiot. It's a buck. It's got antlers, and now I can see it with the scoring. Ah, I know. The scoring estimation. I looked at the weight, 50 to 60 kilograms. Those are heavy does usually. And this is a mini buck. Oh well. Now let's see. If we shoot the doe with the Parker, will he get up? That is the question. 29 meters. Let's go to 30 something. And of course the experiment only counts if the doe drops dead. If it runs, then it'll spook the buck. So right mouse key, click and hold the left mouse key, release the mouse key. That is a lot more stable for me. If you're a bow shooter or if you're new to bow shooting, oh, now he gets up and has no clue. If you're new into bow shooting, try this. I can maybe show you the difference here quickly. And do the old method. Yes, I'm here. Believe me. So let's do the old method. Right click. And left click. It's too shaky for me. I don't like this. I don't like this. So left click and hold it. Don't release it. Because releasing means shooting the arrow. Well, if you think about it, it's actually both the same. Releasing shoots, but if you just click, it's also the releasing that shoots the arrow, but it's a lot more unstable. So we're collecting blacktails here. How many have we got? Have you counted? 6 maybe? $11, 14. 74 minutes is 37 minutes real time. 6 blacktails, 1 spooked, 1 buck spooked, 1 doe spooked, or 2 of them. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter the figures, but you can see they are here. It's a good challenge. Red Feather Falls is also good for blacktails. She's stationary. She's stuck or something. Red Feather is also good for blacktails. But you have to go further, you have to go wider. But then the landscape is of course completely different challenge there. And it's not quite as exquisite unless you go up north. Actually at this point I should recommend my Let's Hunt Blacktails, because there I hunt them in the north of Red Feather and I hunt them here, so if you like blacktails, maybe that's another flick for you to watch. Ooh, by the way, I'm looking at the red dot, but who says that the calling doe is the one that's closest to me? There could be others closer. So maybe it's my gut feeling. It's the only doe that has been calling. I'm thinking by now she's alone. And I don't care if I spook her, to be honest. Because we want the bucks. So looking at the footprints, what is it, female or male? Can you tell? I would say female. The males have a bit larger footprints. Yeah, there she is. I can hear her. Absolutely. We're on the same page. Very dense stuff here, very difficult. And if I get up now, oh, there she is. She is stuck. Yeah, she was stuck. That's why she was at the same place all the time. And can you believe she's running? It was a bad shot. It's dark blood, so it is. Intestines. No, it's just a body shot. Great. That means we have to walk even further. Well, there's not a color for every single blood type. Here she was laying. Oh no, that's a new one. 40 to 60 kilograms says it's a female. New blacktail doe. What am I gonna do? Oh, she's down there. I'm not gonna go back there. I'm thinking it's one of those, one of the group that was scattered. One sleeping, one walking into me, and who knows what else was around. So starting up here is good for finding blacktails quickly and almost exclusively. Like said, there's Roosevelt elk around. Oftentimes they will be there too. But of course you can also hunt blacktails down around the lake. You will find many of them there. But you will also find a lot of turkeys, elk, and coyotes there, which makes it more diverse. And this one's running. It's been shot with an arrow, that means it'll die. It's just a question of when. I'm not sure if it really took the turn here. One of the few open areas. Why not have a quick look? I don't trust the cone. I don't think it went over here. So we find the next track or we move on. Maybe we'll find it later. Well, actually, I don't want to go any further west, because the more water you have on your map, the less the chance for finding a call or for having a call. So let's just stay inland. Going to run a little here. Looking for tracks. Where the heck did this doe go? Oh well. Did she die somewhere? I want to find her actually. I want to find the next track here anyway. Good exercise. If you lose a track, you look for a while, just start running around and in circles. So how about this for an exercise? But you take a right here. You can really run around all the way around the track. Because the next one can be anywhere. The cone is only a suggestion, but the next track can be anywhere. So there it is. She took off to the right. I can now take this call. Oh, she's ahead. Really? Well then. I can take this call because I can pick my track up again right here. The calling female is beyond the street. By the way, my apologies when I move around fast with the mouse looking left and right. I'm so used to doing this, but I do realize in videos it's very annoying. So this is hopefully an exception when looking for that freaking next track, which we have now found. So I'm walking because I think the doe is alone. The track was not new, which means I must have spooked her before. Yes, where are you? Right over here. Oh, that's funny. The track I'm after is now down here. I wouldn't have looked here. And we have elk. The Parker's incredible. When he came out, I hated it. It was so weak. And now it's quite the bow. I quite like it. Going backwards to pick up our doe here. Is this even a recent track? Yes. My game stutters. Don't know why. There's some areas in the game that will pull down your FPS, but I don't think this is one of those. There she is. Okay, finally. You can see the dome of dead animals a bit further away than the tracking domes. What the heck did I hit? Nothing fancy at all. Let's go to the beach. There used to be boats in the game. Some of you might remember if you have been playing this for, I want to say, 3 years maybe, 2 years, 3 years. There were some ferries out there. And we had airplanes in Loggers Point. And at some point they were removed. What I'm still waiting to be removed is the rats, which is really so weird. I mean, to see a rat once in your life in the woods, but if you see them daily, even a hunter won't see rats every day. And graphically, from the animations, not even speaking from the animations, they're simply not up to the standards of this game anymore. Whitetail, really? Haha, one made it up here. Whoa. Let me pick this up. Yeah. The elk on Whitehart are either female groups or male groups. No mixed groups. In Red Feather you might see 5 females and a male. Not sure why the social life of elk is different on the two islands. So I'm running out of this place here because we've got elk more than blacktails, because it's a bit of a dead corner now. So I'm going back into the woods and then walk again. If I can climb up here, that is. So up onto the plateau, which is a bit easier to walk around. Want to get out of these hills here. It's crazy how you can run uphill like this. So we've got the elk. Let's check the map quickly. Yeah, from here we can go in any direction. Will be good for finding more blacktails. Of course, the danger is that the elk will call all the time as I'm getting closer here. More elk. Well, same group. It's funny, there's a promotion video from EW showing this area, and the hunter is kind of running behind an elk bull. I don't know why that is, because the game is not about running around. It's really about walking or sneaking around. And the trailer suggests that you can run around like, I don't know, like a ninja fighter. Catch up with the elk and shoot it. but it was done in this area. There's a tower east of here and an open area. That's the place of the movie. And then finally we've got another buck, which we haven't had before. Neither tracks nor calls. Starting up there at the Causeway Lodge and walking west has the advantage of the wind. There's not many animals, barely any animals at all north of you. But in this case, the buck is actually north of me. At least the way I'm moving now. So consider the wind, which is about this, goes about in this direction. See the falling leaves? See where they go? That's where the wind is, and the buck is right ahead of me, so I'm perfectly upwind of the buck. So I should move left or right. If you call, don't walk straight into the buck if you can't wait like me. Most people might wait. I'm always on the move. So in this case I'm going left, which is going to the side of the buck. So he is now gonna be east of me and not north of me. I'm avoiding the wind. Hope that makes sense. I have to move out of the wind. And actually I want to be careful now. This is a great route to lay down and have a rest. He's over here somewhere. And when you call them, some will come quicker, some will take longer. Be careful, especially when you move forward. Over there, this is on the other side of the pass. Yes, come on guys, great, more blacktails. Oh, quite close. But I don't think it's the same group. They're too far apart. Now I can hear the buck walk, and I'm glad about that. Because the doe is now calling, not my buck anymore. How am I supposed to know where he is? Where are you? If you see him, let me know. There's more than one. I'll wait for this one. I thought that was a pretty good shot, but anyway, I messed up again. Interesting, from the front. So they all ran there. And I might have messed up the group coming from the south. Pretty sure I have, so well, that's what happens. I tell you here, you cannot wait in a wide open and check them all out. One still around. This is street fighting. From tree to tree or in between trees. You have to look for getting the advantage. No open areas here. By the way, the other doe just called again. But I can still hear steps. You can move exactly behind the trees. Be careful. And then jump out and shoot. And I'm out of arrows. That makes it easier to count. We've shot 10 arrows. I don't think we missed one actually. Ah, here it is. The other just disappeared. So, reload. Today I forgot my little trick. And leave one arrow in there. The question came up after that video. What did you mean with that? So I leave one arrow and switch to the next pack so that the game will remember I have 3 packs of arrows in the inventory. If I shoot them all, start a new hunt, the game will think I only have 2 sets of arrows in the inventory. And I have to remember to put the third. That's why. So hopefully now it makes sense. But again, if I don't make sense, if I talk rubbish, that's what the discussion is for below the video here. Send me any questions and I'll try to do better than in a written form if I can say it. So this one was an intestine shot, shouldn't run this far. Still going. Full speed with 12% life. So actually, when I started this hunt, I hoped for a few blacktails to be around because of the video effect, the live effect, the demo effect. You might start here and not find a lot, but boy, this has been busy. And there's a new doe. Well, why don't we take her into the collection? And then look for this one afterwards. Well, maybe I have to say that this takes a bit of skill, a bit of experience to hunt here in the trees. Because if you mess up, they will run if they're in herds. But still, it's a good exercise. It's fun. It's a good challenge. I mean, I prefer this over shooting them from a great distance. Over some field with nothing in between. How hard is that to do? But this is sneaky stuff. I like that. It might still be more blacktails. I think we're talking 2 herds here, 2 independent herds. One that was running pretty much apart from the one we're still looking for, and then the other herd is now slowly coming in. The buck was rubbish here in this herd, so I was looking for another one and then had to shoot the doe. Well, even when hunting blacktails, we always take an elk call. And of course I brought the caller. New bull. Excellent. Actually, I want to know where you are. And hopefully pick up our doe at some point. Yeah, they will do the same detour. The elk will not come over here straight because of the road there down there, so they will walk around here. Oh, there's our doe. Can you see the dome from far? There she is. So maybe we'll conclude this one video with a nice elk bull. I would like to have some open for these guys. You can do a bunch of 5-meter shots at the blacktail does, but not at the Roosevelt elk bulls. So let's move out here. We still have time. Do we? Yeah, we do. Now this one sure made a lot of tracks here. Look at this. What was she looking for? Mushrooms here? Look at this. Whoa. 7. Whoa, look at this. How many tracks can an animal make? That's all the same animal. I'm scared now. She was digging for mushroom. I'm an elk bull too. I still don't know why the elk bull come to the elk bulls. Wouldn't they look for females? Well, I'm not a biologist. I think it's about territory, and they want to go look what other guy is around and make sure, tell that guy to move on. This is my area here. I don't know, but it works. And you can tell, if you didn't know before, at least now, at the latest now you know, I'm not a real life hunter. This area is not good. I want to have him over here somewhere. Yeah, a bit more open, thank you. It's a good challenge, I can tell you. The north of Whitehart, with the steeper parts, with the shrubs, with the many trees, and hopefully some good blacktail bucks. It's a really good challenge. Still waiting for the... There comes the rat. Or what they think is a rat. I'm still waiting for some vehicles to move around here. Imagine that. If you believe there should be vehicles in the game, leave a post below. While we're waiting for the elk. The good thing is they respond to my caller. Hopefully they will do that again. No, of course not. Which means, to me, there's probably not a herd of 5 of them. Now they've gone silent. What could happen is that they go to sleep, even if you call them. They couldn't care less. If they want to sleep, they will sleep. Ah, there they are. Howdy, guys. None of them being anything major. And a bang is going to finish this video. This is it. We found some blacktails. We found some weird blacktails, like this one. Now, like I said, there is some Roosevelt elk around. Glad we found one, glad we shot one. Otherwise, this is a great place for blacktails. I hope you liked the video. Thank you very much. Stay in touch.